I want to switch, there's no fee kind of thing. So, but I haven't checked the latest, which I'm gonna.
Coming west.
Coming west. Reno.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Reno Air Show?
No, I'm going to Lake Tahoe.
It will be beautiful there.
Yeah, I've never been. I'm so excited.
Are you going to south, north, or both? I hope you go to both because it's easy to drive around.
North. My friends have a house on the lake near Truckee, I guess. North.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So if you have a chance to get down, there's a bakery called Shotsky's.
Okay.
And they sell their product up in Lake Tahoe. Ben, do you remember Shotsky's?
Wait, well, no,
It's on the way to Tahoe. I forget what city it's in. The best bakery ever in Delhi. It's a family owned, and then they've got a satellite up in Tahoe. I'm not sure if it's North or South Shore. Shotsky's. Look it up. Enjoy. Gorgeous weather.
I have the most horrible recovered memories of the only time I ever went to Reno. I was 18 and my sister had won the Mrs. Minnesota pageant. I'll let that sink in.
I love that.
My parents paid for the entire extended family to go to Reno for the pageant. And the pageant was this 2-day televised ordeal. And it was like 150 degrees, and my father, who had terrible heart disease, was standing there melting in the sun outside the doors that they wouldn't let open. And we had to sit in his auditorium and be filmed, fake clapping for this Mrs. America pageant. It was the most horrific. I swear I have PTSD from Reno. That's it.
Wow, that's so funny. Yeah, go ahead.
So my childhood memories of Reno, I had an aunt and uncle that had mineral baths in Reno. And back then they were brothels. But I was a kid, and my mom had to have surgery when I was 5. And they thought, oh, well, we'll just send the girls to, the aunt and uncles in Reno. They've got this big ranch. And they had no idea. So here we go off to this mineral bath place in Reno, not knowing what it was. And me, being the adventurous explorer that I was, I wanted to go into every one of these these rooms that they would rent out. And they had to keep me back because, of course, you know what was going on this ranch. And so we were out there for 2 weeks. And that was my experience in Reno, was being on a ranch that turned out to be a brothel. So that was back in the very early, I want to say 60s, 70s rather, probably, late 60s. Yeah, I'm going to say late 60s. So, yeah, all desert, and that's what it was. So, but Tahoe is nothing like Reno.
Can I say something about your brothel experience, Sue? Because that kind of got... Hey, really good stories this morning, okay, Sue. I live where it's why I come on Clubhouse. Okay, so in Brazil, as Ben knows, there's this thing where, the youth, a lot of them tend to not live independently from their family. And so one of my really good friends, his family owned a love motel. And it's not trashy in the way that, right, Ben? That's the thing that Ben knows about that. Where young couples, just couples, even, whatever, they go to these love motels, and they're not, there's like a tub, some of them are themed, it's not gross, but it's just like, yes, passionate lovers deserve a space, and here's like a space for the passionate lovers. It's very cute, and it's like, well, yeah, no, that makes total sense, and they're not expensive, and so, yeah, it's funny because we view brothels and things as negative things
Is
here in the
it by
United
the
States.
hour?
I mean, I actually don't. I think it is by like a time. I don't think it's down to the hour, but I think it's like an
You buy a
afternoon.
block of time.
Mhm.
They often,
Yeah.
they often have rose petals in the shape of a heart on the bed, on the cupboard.
They're not dirty. They're cute, and so I just think that they're adorable. And I think it's a good thing for society to have like these little love motels, and for it to be a little bit more acceptable.
I agree. There's very few freestanding buildings in Manhattan. However, there is one that sits on the side of the West Side Highway, and then right in between that and the Meatpacking District, right near the Whitney Museum. And it is the Liberty Hotel. And the Liberty Hotel, it used to be one where like sailors would go and like link up and whatever. Anyway, so it had like a pretty seedy reputation. But over the last 15 years or so, they transformed and leaned in to kind of their reputation and turned it into kind of like a, short-term stay motel, kind of with all the themed rooms, all the themed like love rooms, like heart-shaped beds and things like that, and kind of thematic in the rooms, and you can rent it by the hour, but it's usually like a couple-hour chunks. And that's it. And they lean into it. And it's very cute, and I'm glad it's still there.
Well, you know what? Now everyone in New York has a roommate because it's so expensive. So if you wanted a quiet place, that would be an awesome alternative. And I think they should lean harder.
Sure. Yeah, and it's not cheap either. I mean, it's not as expensive as a full night at a regular hotel, but
I think there's an app in there somewhere between LinkedIn, Leaned In, and Hooked Up.
That was really good, Al.
Very entrepreneurial of you. Yeah, that's really good. That's funny. I actually, out of research and curiosity, I actually did go to a legal brothel in outside of Las Vegas, which was quite the experience. It wasn't quite the chicken ranch, but it was sort of.
I was going to say, was it the chicken ranch?
It was something similar. I don't know. The thing is I've been going to Vegas for years, because at first for the photography business, and then later for the internet business. And in the 90s, I was going to Vegas 6 times a year. I mean, I might as well buy an apartment. But whenever in the 80s and 90s, whenever you went into there were always people giving off these. They were like business cards, and that's what they were. They just were advertisements to go to legal brothels, and they're outside of Clark County. So Clark County itself, where Vegas is, prostitution is not legal, but the county's outside, so you have to go about 45 minutes outside of Vegas. So I picked up one of these cards, and I had just separated from my wife, and I thought, well, I had to try this. It's like, why wouldn't I try it? It's like, I'm not going to be married, and there's no strings attached, and so it was like totally out of curiosity. And it was actually, I wouldn't do it again, because it wasn't really very fulfilling, let's say. But it was like a scene out of a movie. It was like you sit in a chair, and they line girls up, and all the girls are in some outfit. Like, one's a cheerleader, and one's a cowgirl, and one's a belly dancer. and you pick the girl you want, and then you negotiate prices and what you want. The process was really interesting. And it turned out I was with this. I mean, she was so nice and pleasant. She was a nursing student at Santa Monica College, and this is how she made money on the weekends. And we had this very pleasant discussion But it was really pretty surreal.
I was wondering, hi Ben, it's been a long time.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I was wondering, you're talking about heart-shaped beds. Does that make anyone more, what is the word, libidos or more romantic? I feel like that would be a turn-off for me if it was like too cheesy. I don't know. Does that make people get excited?
Yeah, no. It's the heart-shaped bed thing. Reminds me of what was the movie about the secret agent with Mike Myers? You know that movie, the crazy movie. Anyway, that's what it reminds me of.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers. It's an Austin Powers thing where the bed's like revolving around the room and it has like a bearskin rug on it. And yeah, it is sort of cheesy, Sora. I agree with you. I'm not into heart-shaped beds. Anyway, yes, beds in love motels. This is good. I love hearing people's little personal stories. You know what it reminded me of when you started talking, Al? It started reminding me of this documentary about a music festival that like went bonkers. It was like the Fire Festival. Did anybody see that movie? Which was a true documentary of like this Coachella, Woodstock kind of event that had sold like tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of tickets, and it was a total bust. I mean, it literally everything that it was supposed to happen didn't happen. The music bands all never showed up, and it was raining, and they didn't have the facilities, and there was like the whole.